Hey everybody out there in Cyberworld. I'm really excited to be here tonight. My name is Ed McLaren. Many of you know me from various pursuits, all the way back to UCLA and some of the things over the years. And one of the nice things about how I'm evolving, my participation in dentistry, I've had an opportunity to be interviewed by a lot of people over the years, and that's been fun for me to be able to talk about what I'm doing. But lately I've been starting a couple of channels. We have a YouTube channel we'll put this on called Dental Raves and occasional Rants, but also Instagram and a few other social media. And it's been really fun for me the last year or so to start out to interviewing some of the superstars that I see in dentistry, getting a chance to learn from people and my former students that have really become superstars. And we have one of those such interviews tonight, probably one of the funnest people, nicest people I've ever met, the most very talented person I've ever met, but also literally one of the top ceramists that out there in the world today. One of my students got it 22 years ago or something like that. And I guess that's dating me a little bit because the gray hairs are starting. Actually, there's a few more. I've hidden a few of them out there. But we're online right now with Jørgen Gad, who is just, like I said, an amazing ceramist. God, he's a UFC fighter. He's been doing that. He's done martial arts. He can fly a helicopter. He's a professional, practically snowboarder. It's really amazing and almost endless, his level of talent. And so one of the things that was really exciting for me, I've had a chance to stay in touch with him over the years, is visiting him in Norway. He's based in Norway. But he's developed so many accounts in the United States because his talent level, they just wanted to work with him on his ability to do really multiple levels of ceramics. We're going to talk about all these things today. But he just recently opened up a lab in Miami, and he's going to be spending, 25 to 50% of his time in Miami with somebody that's become a pretty good dental friend of mine over the years, Milos Madilanov, if I get that correctly. I jokingly refer to him as M2. I like to give everybody nicknames. But again, we're here with Jørgen today, and I'm just amazing. He's just been here the last month, so I wanted to have an opportunity to talk to him. And so, Jørgen, why don't you share with us a little bit about your new venture and lab and what you're looking to do with that?
Well, thank you for very kind words, Ed. Always a pleasure to seeing you, even online. I mean, I prefer to see you over a beer in Chicago or something. This is also very nice. Well, I had some ventures, in Europe the last, 22 years ago since I was at UCLA, on the Eurostep division, and we've done some pretty nice stuff in Europe, built some businesses, and I kind of always thought that Miami was the spot. And the latest years, I really seen that the market in Miami is, I will say, is as good as UCLA used to be back in 10,
back
15
in the
years.
day, yeah.
the glory days,
Yes.
So I had an opportunity, of course, together with Milos. We talked about this. We knew each other from, through international lecturing and stuff. And I wanted to kind of do a little bit what we used to do at UCLA.
Right.
Like a team approach. That's basically what I based my whole career on in Europe. Is basically implementing the same stuff we did at UCLA, work together, treatment planning, share knowledge between any side of the industry, if you're a dentist or surgeon or technician or so the whole planning stuff. And we see that the interest for this in America, especially, there's a lot of really talented dentists in America.
Right.
We all know this. And they are very eager to learn and also collaborate with this kind of called business.
Well, to fill in what Jørgen's talking about, one of the things that we taught at UCLA was this team approach, and we've all talked about this in dentistry and the lab side of it, and it's nothing that I particularly originated. I learned from people ahead of me, like the John Sorensens, But what we really tried to do, and what Jørgen really is doing, is really elevated his understanding as much as a dentist or more in the functional aspects of everything, but also be able to deliver the highest quality aesthetics and very functional and very biologically acceptable, but importantly, in being able to communicate well with the patient. One of the biggest challenges that we see so many patients that need our help, and we as dentists sometimes feel like we're on islands, okay, and trying to tell the patient they need this or that, and they're worried that, maybe we're trying to pay for our car or something like that. And I can tell you, dentists out there that are listening to this, or patients that might be listening to this, is that having a technician that really, or a ceramist, a master artist that really knows how to see the case, co-diagnose the case with you, help you present the case, I can tell you your case acceptance goes way up. I have so many friends that tell me that have worked with Jørgen or some of my other students or really some other great ceramists around the world, that has been really the best benefit of working with them, is motivating, educating the patient to accept what we know that they need. And Jørgen's doing that at the highest level. Not only is he a master at feldspathic veneers, which is really a dying art form, to tell you the truth, okay? But still the best looking thing we can do it aesthetically, but all the things all the way through full mouth reconstruction and digital. And so anyway, they opened the lab. So tell us maybe a little bit, and obviously we'll ask a lot of other questions. How would somebody get a hold of you? Could we put in, would you mind if we drop in your contact information? So if some patients or maybe interested or dentists are interested in working with you?
Yeah, sure. So we're located right now. We just finished building the whole laboratory and of course the academy, because we really preaching the same, call it the UCLA concept. We try to like, planning is really key. Like for any ceramist, for any dentist, for any surgeon, if we all are good at planning, we can all like make amazing stuff.
Right.
And with the new technology that's coming along the last 10 years, we have possibilities we didn't even have, back in, I call it the UCLA. We still had a lot of, still had a lot of good technology, and we will, the companies were like basically giving UCLA everything we could get. We could play around with everything. And we're actually in the same situation right now. We see that the companies, they actually love the stuff we're doing, and the whole concept, because we can really show the best of these technologies, combined with, teamwork and good planning, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we'll drop in the show notes. I'll have my audiovisual experts drop in the show notes how they contact you. And one of the things you wanted to touch on, I wanted to expand on to the audience out there, because we're going to have a varied audience that are going to listen to this. There'll be some patients, there'll be some dentists and technicians, but specifically to the dentists and the patients that are watching, Jørgen has really mastered, which other ceramists have, but very, very few in the world, the art of minimalistic dentistry, how to do veneers in extremely small space. And I know he could do some cases, specific cases that might be no prep cases, but that you would coordinate with him. But that's what amazes me, the people that can develop that ability to be able to be very conservative, very minimalistic, which is the healthiest thing for the patient. And you've mastered that, and kudos to you. So how much time are you how are you splitting your time? Tell us a little bit about that between here and Norway. And you could always send him a case in Norway too.
Yes. Where I have 3 dental companies in also Norway. So I will be here, say 4 or 5 times every half year. So say 8 times a year, I'll be here. We also gonna Milos is gonna be here full time.
Right.
And we also have hired some really good people, and that's another thing which is really nice about America. There's so much talent, and we feel like it's the easiest part is to get really good quality, to be honest, because there's so many it doesn't get the chance. We see a lot of the call it aesthetic work in America. It's not really that aesthetic, and the patient pay a lot of money for basically quality, we think we can do a lot better with planning.
Well, let me speak to that for a second. Those of you that don't know me, I'm a dentist, prosthodontist, but I'm also a master ceramist, been a professor at the university, so I can speak effectively on all sides of this issue. And what you're talking about is, I would agree with you 100% that we're training people really good in the digital space and understanding all the new technologies. What's really been lost in the mix here the last few years is people that can deliver that high-end finished result, which I know you can, and that's been a challenge for patients to find and dentists to find. So I know that would be an excellent resource along with all the other things that you've been talking about. I'd also like to add, an interesting thing too. They're going to be teaching courses. Milos, many of you might have heard of. He's pretty famous for doing certain things, but he teaches a phenomenal photography course, but also not just how to take a photograph, how to integrate that into a patient presentation, integrate it into a, let's say, an online presence and marketing in your social media space, which is so important today. I mean, if no matter what we know, and how good we might be, and it took me a long time to learn this, actually, that unless we effectively market ourselves, and I'm not talking about sending ads all over the place, but get the message out there in an effective way so people can find us, okay, that are looking for the services. And I know you guys do that outstanding. And Jørgen also teaches courses at Minimalistic Course on Layering, if anybody's looking at that. So that's incredible. I'm excited about that. I can't wait to get out there and see you guys. I'll try and make it out there sometime in the fall. Great. So what are the plans? Maybe tell us, your next couple of courses that are coming up for people that might be interested in learning something from you.
Yes, we have the first course we had in the academy was with Smilefy. So we also show some of printing and direct prototyping and planning and stuff.
Right.
Together with Smilefy, which is a great software for making mock-ups to dentists. So then we had I think we had about 22 people, most of them dentists, all over the world. Mostly all over America.
Okay.
And so that was our first opening of the academy. Like 20, I think, with 22 people. So that was a great success. And then we have another one. We have a photo course and also photo mock-up and digital planning course. We have the 10th and 12th of May.
Okay. And we'll put links in there for you for that. Armando, my AV guy's on. Get those links and let's put them in. And by the way, that's what I expand upon that, because one of the things you told me, and I'm really impressed about, is that you're starting an academy. And not to everybody throws words around like that, but what I was listening to and what I saw you doing is you're doing very comprehensive team stuff. It's not just a particular part here, a particular part there, which that's important. But how to integrate all the pieces into the workflow, both analog and digital, along with the dentist education to understand how to do the techniques, but also the teamwork. So how they apply together. So
exactly. Yeah. It's basically what we did at UCLA, just for like business. To be honest,
right?
Like we want to integrate everyone, not just the industry, like the companies, not just the dentist, or not just the dental thing. We want the whole can come in, like the clinic can basically bring. They can bring the technicians. They can bring their secretary. They can any help they have. They can bring their surgeons. We want the whole team approach, and we want to show the whole, like from what kind of material and companies we're using.
Right.
We want to integrate everything, the whole process, into a finished product, and we want to teach people how to do it. And that's the way we want our customers. We want the customers that actually want to be on that kind of level. And I call it planning. People call it final results. If the planning is good, the final results.
Right.
That's my
Which again. Right. I mean, sorry if I'm being redundant here by what I say, but adding to that, that's one of the things that I know both you and Milos are focusing on. Really, how to take and evaluate a patient, how to image the patient properly, how to scan with our digital scanning technologies, how to treatment plan, how to do a smile design. He mentioned Smilefy, which is one of the top one, maybe, or 2 or 3 programs out there in the digital space. By game, I think his name is Ralph, right? I met Ralph.
Yeah,
and it's really incredible what these smile design programs could do. And I have to tell, if there's any young dentists out there listening, which I'm assuming there's going to be several out there, one of the best things that you can do is do some sort of digital smile design. I learned Photoshop early on, and I still use that. So that's probably archaic today. 20 years ago was kind of cutting edge, okay? But I'll move things around in Photoshop. But there's a couple of phenomenal programs out there, one of them being Smilefy, that really helps you in that process to show the patient before and after what they could look like, but also help you develop a mock-up. I hate that word mock-up, but something they could put in their mouth like a prototype, so they can visually see in 3 dimensions what they look like. And that's an amazing technology. Honestly, everybody should be doing that, especially when you're starting out to help build your practice. Great. Well, that's awesome on the professional side. So I think our audience would love to hear maybe a little bit about are you still flying helicopters? Are you still, I know you're snowboarding whenever you get a chance. So
yeah, I snowboard as much as I can. The helicopters. Yeah, I'm every time I have a chance, I don't have the chance that often anymore, but I will never give it up. It's
many of you know me out there, and you know I make movies. It's my one hobby that I have other than teeth, and I've made 8 really good movies. So I've actually written a script called The New A-Team, and I'm not quite. I want to get in shape like Stallone or something like that. It's going to be a little combination of the Expendables and the A-Team. But he's going to be the pilot. He's going to be our helicopter pilot. So we're gonna do a chase scene in that, and he's probably gonna have to be face to the good-looking guy, and I'll have to be Mad Dog McLaren. So hopefully we'll get to shoot that someday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, buddy. Well, we got an idea what's going on. You're going to be here, 4 or 5 times every half year.
Yeah.
We're going to put up for you who is how for people to get a hold of you, and obviously that's it. Yeah, go ahead. Let's go ahead and fill in any blanks that I might be missing.
Yeah, we of course gonna use our contact network. So we already talked about this. We're gonna have you down there a couple of times a year, and we're gonna basically try to build an academy, like a good old academy.
Right.
Where everyone is welcome, and of course we will meet the best potential customers for the laboratory there, of course. But that's a benefit for everyone, because I think there's more dentists in the United States that want high-end work than we really think. Like I think the demand for high-end work in America is all time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. People are very aesthetically driven here, and you're right. We are not training technicians how to do that finished work. And then to add one interesting point to this, and not to step on anybody's toes, but I learned from some wonderful ceramists over the years. The ceramist side of me, Klaus Mutter-Thies, Willie Geller, and Claude Sieber, to name a few others. But they were kind of the guys for the longest time. 2 out of 3 of them are still actually doing it. But one of the things that I noticed in their space, and they're all from Europe somewhere, is that a lot of times patients would contact them directly. Maybe they didn't have a dentist. I'm not trying to get and step on anybody's toes here, but they saw something, a patient saw something that they wanted a certain style of work, a certain style of art. So I'd recommend any patients that are listening to this, if you don't have a dentist, or maybe you're not happy with the work that you've had done aesthetically, please reach directly out to Jørgen. He can definitely show you what's going on and refer you to some of his dentists that he works with, because it takes 2 people and patients that are listening. I mean, when you see great work in someone's mouth, a great smile, a dentist had to do a great job, but also a ceramist had to do a great job. It's really 2 people involved in this work, and then any other specialists that might have had to be involved, like periodontist or orthodontist or stuff like that. So I would tell you out there that the ceramist is the most important person on the aesthetic team for an aesthetic result. And yes, the dentist has to do their job. Everybody, the dentist is like the contractor, the builder, the geologist, making sure everything's correct, okay? But the ceramist is the finish worker, the person that's painting the house beautiful, that's making the beautiful cabinetry and stuff like that. And that's really how we need to see our ceramic colleagues. Well, great. So anything, last things? We've probably been going about 20 minutes. I don't like to keep these too long. Anything else, last little thoughts that you'd like to add?
No, I'm just happy to just finally get started here. So it's been a long, we spent almost like half a year getting all the licenses and certifications and all this stuff. But now the academy is built and the lab is built, and we're ready for business. So.
And I'd like to say one thing, to be clear, Jørgen, even though he looks like a young man still, which he is, he's been doing this for about 25 years. And one of my very good friends, and how I met Jørgen, was his dad was really one of the best ceramists in Europe for a number of years. He's still running around playing golf these days, mostly, but retired a few years ago. So he had an amazing leg up to get started, and has taken that Gad, GAD last name reputation, and taken it to a new level. All right, so Jørgen, thanks for being here with us. And again, we'll put in the show notes or we'll edit in this video how you can contact Jørgen, and certainly you can ask us some questions and we'll do our best to answer them. And all right, signing off for tonight. Thanks again, Jørgen. Great to see you, buddy.
Thank you, Ed.